You've seen it before. The kind neighbor who never harmed a soul ends up bedridden with a terrible illness. The friend who was always ready to help suddenly loses their job. The most generous person you know gets betrayed by the very people they trusted most. And in those moments, a question rises like a lump in your throat. Where is the justice? Where is the fairness in this world? Centuries ago, Imam Al-Ghazali wrestled with this very question, and his journey to find an answer would change his life and ours forever. At the height of his career, Al-Ghazali was the most celebrated scholar in the Muslim world. His words traveled across borders. Students left their families and villages just to learn from him. Kings and sultans sought his advice. His books were copied and passed down like treasures. He had everything: wealth, status, honor, and influence. But inside, he was collapsing, because Al-Ghazali had witnessed something that tore at his soul. He saw the innocent crushed while the corrupt thrived. He saw good, honest people lose everything they had while the greedy grew richer. The gap between what he believed about how the world should work and the reality of what he saw every day became unbearable. Then one day, as he stood before hundreds of students who clung to his every word, something inside him snapped. All the knowledge he had spent a lifetime gathering suddenly felt meaningless. All the answers he had memorized sounded hollow. He could no longer pretend that life made sense. The question that had haunted him for years finally broke him completely. If this universe is governed by any justice at all, why do those with the kindest hearts suffer the most? That very night, Al-Ghazali made a decision that shocked everyone. He walked away from everything: his position, his wealth, his reputation, his students. He became a wanderer. For years, he disappeared from public life. He traveled, he questioned, he prayed, he stripped away everything he thought he knew about life, suffering, and fairness, searching desperately for an answer. And what he eventually found didn't just heal him. It completely transformed his understanding of existence. And if you can grasp what he discovered, you may never see your own pain the same way again. Al-Ghazali realized something revolutionary. We are asking the wrong question. We ask, why do bad things happen to good people? But what if what we call bad isn't truly bad at all? Imagine a child receiving a vaccine. To them, that moment is nothing but pain. A needle stabbing their arm, tears welling in their eyes, terror and confusion flooding their little heart. Why would someone who loves me hurt me like this? But the parent knows something the child does not. They know this momentary pain is saving the child from far worse suffering later on. Al-Ghazali realized that life works the same way, but on a scale so vast that we can't see the whole picture. What seems like random cruelty or meaningless tragedy from our limited point of view may actually be serving a purpose we cannot yet understand. Think about the people you admire most, the ones you see as wise, compassionate, strong. If you ask them about their lives, they will not tell you about an endless stream of easy victories. They will tell you about heartbreak that shattered them, failures that humiliated them, losses that left them on their knees. And yet they will also tell you those moments were the turning points, the betrayal that taught them wisdom, the failure that unlocked their true strength, the loss that revealed what really mattered. Al-Ghazali called this the hidden curriculum of existence, and here is where his insight becomes radical. He saw that those who suffer most often have the greatest potential for growth. Think about it. If you were training someone for the Olympics, would you give them the same easy workout as a beginner? No, you'd push them to their limits, not to punish them, but to prepare them for greatness. Life does the same. The universe doesn't always hand you what you want, it hands you what you need to become the person you were born to be. And what you need most often arrives looking like the very thing you would never choose. Al-Ghazali told the story of a merchant who lost everything in a single day. His wealth, his business, his partnerships, gone. He spent months drowning in despair, convinced that fate had cursed him. But that catastrophic loss forced him to dig deep and discover talents he never knew he had. 5 years later, he had rebuilt a business far greater than the one he lost. But more importantly, he had rebuilt himself into a man of depth, wisdom, and compassion. Years later, he said, "I thought that day had destroyed me. Now I know it was the day I truly came alive." Al-Ghazali called this a blessing disguised as a curse. The thing that looks like your ending may actually be the beginning of who you were meant to be. But Al-Ghazali didn't stop there. He realized that our idea of good people might be flawed. We think the good life is the one that avoids pain, smooth, safe, comfortable. But Al-Ghazali saw it differently. Good people aren't the ones who are spared from hardship. They're the ones who face hardship and choose to respond with patience, kindness, and faith. Anyone can be kind when life is easy. Anyone can be generous when they have more than enough. Anyone can be patient when everything is going their way. But the person who remains gentle in the face of cruelty, generous despite loss, patient in the fire of suffering, that person has accomplished something truly extraordinary. He called this the alchemy of the soul. Just as pressure transforms coal into diamond, life's trials transform ordinary people into extraordinary ones. Your pain is not punishment, it is transformation. Think about the people you respect most. They are not the ones who lived a life of comfort and ease. They are the ones who have walked through fire and somehow kept their humanity intact. Their wisdom wasn't memorized from books. Their compassion wasn't taught in classrooms. Their strength wasn't built on easy days. Those qualities were forged in suffering, and this is why Al-Ghazali said, "If you could see the hidden purpose behind your trials, you would thank life for them." Not because the pain itself is pleasant, but because of the person it allows you to become. Al-Ghazali also realized that pain hurts more when we resist it. Two people can lose everything in a single moment. One becomes bitter and hopeless. The other becomes wise and resilient. The difference isn't in what happened. It's in the meaning they gave it. We cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can always control what we make of it. And that choice, what we make of it, determines not only our happiness, but our character and our contribution to the world. Eventually, Al-Ghazali reached a startling conclusion. The people we call unlucky may actually be the most blessed, because they are given the chance to grow strong roots, to become unshakable. He told the story of two gardens. One garden was perfectly sheltered, never facing storms. Its plants grew tall but fragile. The other faced storms and droughts. Its plants were bent and scarred, but their roots dug deep and their trunks became strong. When the great storm finally came, the first garden was destroyed. The second survived. Which garden, he asked, was truly blessed? This perspective changes everything. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" And you start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" You stop wishing for the pain to vanish, and you start wondering how you might grow because of it. You stop seeing yourself as a victim, and you start seeing yourself as a student in the school of existence. But perhaps Al-Ghazali's most beautiful insight was this: your deepest wound may one day become your greatest gift to the world. The experience that nearly broke you may become the very thing that allows you to heal others. Your pain can become someone else's hope. Your failure can become someone else's guide. Your scars can become a roadmap for those still lost. He called this the sacred recycling of suffering. Pain transformed into compassion. Loss transformed into wisdom. Failure transformed into guidance. And finally, Al-Ghazali saw something profound. The timing of our challenges is never random. Life gives you exactly the lesson you are ready for, not a moment sooner, not a moment later. Look back on your life. The struggles you faced 5 years ago. Could you have faced them 10 years ago? Probably not. You needed those years to build the strength to carry them. Al-Ghazali called this the perfect curriculum. Life is not chaos. It is an intelligent teacher, preparing you step by step for who you are meant to become. This does not mean we should sit by and allow injustice or cruelty to flourish. Al-Ghazali was clear. We must still work to make the world more just, to ease unnecessary pain, to help those in need. But we can do this work with wisdom instead of bitterness, with clarity instead of rage. Because once you see your difficulties as part of a hidden curriculum, you approach them differently. You stop asking, "Why me?" You start asking, "What now?" You stop obsessing over what was taken from you, and you start focusing on what this moment might be giving you. In his final years, Al-Ghazali devoted his life to sharing this discovery. He had found the answer to the question that once almost destroyed him. Bad things don't happen to good people because the universe is cruel. They happen because good people have the power to turn them into something extraordinary. And once you understand this, once you truly see it, you realize something life-changing. Your struggles are not evidence that life is unfair. They are evidence that life believes in you. Your pain is not punishment. It is an invitation to grow, to learn, to transform. The universe is not trying to break you. It is trying to make you unbreakable. And maybe, just maybe, what you once thought was bad was the best gift life could ever give you.